Hello, this is Timmy Nafso, Fortis Payments, and I'm here again to discuss Small Business Week tips for you and your business. What we're actually going to be talking about today is the risk of accepting credit cards over the phone or over the internet. So from a business perspective, when we talk about chargebacks and chargeback risk, what a lot of business owners are unaware of is we are at a tremendous disadvantage when it comes to protecting ourselves and our business from fraud when the transaction is happening over the phone or over the internet. And why that is the industry does not allow us to essentially accept that chip and pin or dip the chip for EMV over the phone, obviously. So what ends up happening is the card brands, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express, essentially put the responsibility on the business to determine if, in fact, that transaction and that card holder is who they say they are. It's an uphill battle for us as business owners, obviously. Why is it an uphill battle? Because there are people out there that are intentionally trying to defraud us as business owners. There are people out there that are intentionally stealing credit card numbers, running them through your internet site, waiting for the product to just find out that it was a fraudulent transaction. We don't truly have protection from that type of fraud, with the exception of a couple of key factors that happen on something called a payment gateway. So if you have an online shopping cart, if you have a product that you sell over the phone, you go in and you start to enter data. So just as a quick example, when you go to a gas station, what does it ask you for? It asks you for a zip code. What's actually happening there is there's an authorization or authentication that's happening by entering in the zip code. If the zip code is invalid, we can choose to decline that transaction. And that is actually being driven by something called a gateway. And gateways that you might have heard of are Authorize.net, PayPal Gateway, Fortis Pay Gateway for those of you that use our products and services. And what we're able to do is actually turn on a feature that declines a transaction if the zip code doesn't match. So when that card number is stolen, but they don't actually know where that zip code is tied to, we can decline that transaction. We've also seen a lot of retailers go to the welcome call or the interview process, where after a transaction is over a certain amount, they'll actually physically have somebody from their customer support team or their risk team acting as if they're from customer support, call the card holder and verify a couple pieces of information, acting as though this is part of their white glove service approach that they have when they call and say, hey, we just want to verify your address, we just want to verify X, Y, and Z and make sure that phone number is real, because that also helps to drop the fraud rate just from the phone number itself. Those are a couple of small tips to help avoid fraud chargebacks in the card not present system of transactions. If you have any questions, please feel to reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. We're here to help. Thanks again for listening.